Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear honorable judges, respected audience, and my fellow participants, allow me to draw you into a moment that has remained indelibly etched in my memory. One day, I met an international student who had just arrived in Indonesia. He wanted to buy food at a small local stall. He pointed at the menu, like trying to speak, and smiled politely. But the seller didn't understand him, and he also didn't understand the seller. Both of them are love each other and trying to communicate and without words. At that moment, I realized something deeply unsettling. In a world that is more connected than ever, we are still struggling to understand each other. Greetings everyone, my name is Sultan Aulia, I'm from EIN Kendari. And before we proceed, let us praise the Almighty God who has given His blessing upon all of us today. I will also thank to the honorable judges and also the committee of UICC who has organized this event. Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you not just to speak, but to share a journey. A small journey that carries a big meaning. On the topic, Voices of the Future, Youth Leading Change in a Global Society. We often believe that change must be loud, that leadership must be seen, and the impact must be big. But what if I tell you that change can begin in the quietest room with the simplest word and spoken by an ordinary young person? I am that young person. I didn't start a big global movement. I didn't lead thousands of people. But I choose to do one thing. I teach Indonesian to international students through BIPA or Bahasa Indonesia bagi penutur asing. At first, it felt small, like just teaching words, correcting pronunciation, repeating sentences again and again. But one day, something changed. A student who once struggled to speak finally said, "Terima kasih banyak, Pak." Not perfectly, not fluently, but sincerely. And in that moment, I didn't just hear a sentence, but I felt a truly deep connection. Ladies and gentlemen, that is when I realized that I'm not just teaching a language, because I'm building understanding, I'm connecting words, and this is not just my story, because this is a part of a bigger reality. More than 5 million international students study outside their home countries every year, yet cross-cultural misunderstanding remains one of the main challenges in the global communication, even in this digital era. And this means one thing: the world is connected, but not always understood. And today, Indonesian is spoken by more than 270 million people, and it's being learned in over 50 countries all around the world. And this is where small actions matter. Through a very strong digital current, I tried to create my own platform called Globi, where I provide online learning media for anyone who wants to learn Indonesian for free, of course. Also, I try to find Indonesian language teaching volunteers as the teachers and also students from various countries. And through Globi, I introduce more than vocabulary, because I introduce Indonesia, such as our cultures, tradition, and values, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, in the global society, misunderstanding is really easy, but understanding takes effort. And this is where youth must rise. Young people make up more than 1.2 billion of the world's population. Imagine this. If even a small portion of us choose to build understanding instead of division, we can transform the future of the world. Because the world doesn't only need smart people. The world needs people who care. So here is my challenge to you. Starting today, do not use language only to speak, but to truly connect. Be intentional with your words. Choose to listen, to understand, and to bridge differences rather than widen them. Wherever you are, with whatever you have, take one small step to create understanding, because the world we hope for will only exist if we begin to building it. One word, one voice, and one action at a time. And the question is, what kind of world will we create? I have made my choice. Through every word I teach, through every connection I build, I choose to create a world that understands. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.